On News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP. Welcome back, Matt Locke, your host. Going to go to the phone lines. Want to welcome to the program. He is the president of Cotton Wealth Management, Steve Cotton. Steve, big day for Texas and Dallas, right, in the financial world?
Well, good morning, Matt. It is a stellar day for the state of Texas, one of the biggest financial developments anywhere in the country.
Well, let me ask you the question, because all these smart people, the analysts, the money people are saying it's going to be very tough for the Texas Stock Exchange to compete with the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. Is that true?
Not at all true. Matter of fact, the last session of the legislature last year passed a series of measures making Texas even more business and regulatory friendly. And what this is going to be is a huge magnet for companies to relocate to Texas, because Texas companies are going to get a priority in terms of being listed.
So then here's the question. Are these statements made out of fear that Texas and Dallas is replacing Wall Street?
No, I don't think we're trying to replace Wall Street. We're really opening up a third coast. You know, they talked about when Austin became one of the music centers of the country, the Austin was called the third coast. This is going to be the third financial coast. And I'll tell you, I think the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ are worried because all of a sudden they're opening up offices here in Dallas.
Well, yeah, it seems like I'm seeing Goldman Sachs. I'm seeing some of the big hitters. I can't remember exactly what they called it, something Voyage. They're cutting people. They're trying to come back to shed some stuff, and they're moving here. Is that a good sign?
Well, I think it's a good sign. I think there's plenty of business for everybody. The Texas Stock Exchange has raised over $275 million to launch this, and the legislature has passed good, positive, protective legislation, and you're already seeing lots of companies want to participate, and the number of publicly traded companies, I looked this stuff up, has fallen by about 45% in the last 25 years, and I think the Texas Stock Exchange, part of the strategy is to reverse that, but have lots of companies listed in Texas on the exchange. This is going to be good for investors, good for companies. They're going to hire over 100 people to work the exchange, and it's just going to be a gigantic financial magnet, I think, for companies all over the country.
So, Steve, for those of us who are not as financially smart as you are, for the average Norm and Norma, how does this help them?
Well, it brings enthusiasm to the investor community. You know, a huge number of people in the country have 401ks. A lot of people dabble in stocks. A lot of people work with financial strategists and money managers like me and build portfolios. But stock selection is still a big part of what we do. And whether you're an amateur investor or an institutional investor, having a third exchange, very strong companies in this capitalist system is going to be positive for everybody. It's going to generate new wealth and new opportunities, and it's going to make Texas a major financial center in the country going forward. And I think it's all a good thing. I don't see any downside from this, only upside.
So, Steve, what is an ETF?
It's an exchange-traded fund.
What does that mean?
And well, it's basically an index fund. You can buy all kinds of exchange-traded funds. If you wanted an exchange-traded fund that, say, replicates a small company index, you could buy one. If you wanted to replicate international indexes, you could buy one there. ETFs are going to be on this stock exchange, but I believe they are scheduled for the fall. This is going to be a phased-in initiative, and there are going to be some test companies that have launched on the exchange today. Then thousands of other companies will gradually come to be listed. ETFs will be listed this fall, and the first IPOs probably will be listed in 2027.
So, Steve, I've read here, in aren't most stocks traded online? So why does a physical location matter?
Well, the stocks are you can go online and buy and sell stocks, but you have to do it on an exchange. There are some exchanges that list a very limited number of companies. Some exchanges, like the New York Stock Exchange, list many more. And for many companies, there's a capitalized threshold. You have to be of a certain size to be listed.
Okay.
And you have to be regulatorily clean to be listed. And so there are some rules and regulations that every exchange has, but these exchanges are what empowers the trading in our country. You have the Chicago Board of Trade, the NASDAQ, which is very tech heavy out of New York, New York Stock Exchange. You have the Chicago Board of Trade, Trade in Chicago. So there are trade exchanges on the West Coast, in the Midwest, and the East Coast. This is the Southern anchor.
So, Steve, final question here. We got about a minute left. What does this do for Dallas's economy?
I think it's going to create a level of enthusiasm for finance and investment that we have not seen yet. Dallas has always been an insurance hub. This is going to make it an international exchange hub, and it's going to be great for Dallas and great for Texas.
Well, I love hearing that. All right, Steve Cotton, tell folks where they can find you.
I'm based here in Dallas. We have clients all over the country. You can find me on my website at Cotton, COTTON, WMA.com. And we are a family-friendly financial planning and investment firm.
Well, thank you so much, President of Cotton Wealth Management, Steve Cotton. I certainly appreciate your expertise.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me.